suited.
Okay.
Nama Shreshtam Manu Apishachi Bhutram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasya Grajam Urupurim Maturim Gostavatim Radhakundam Girivaram Ho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila chapter 24, Sanatan Shiksha, Mahaprabhu's instructions to Sanatan Goswami. We're getting towards the end of Sanatan Shiksha because we're on the last chapter of this part. And the last chapter is, of course, explanations of the Atmaram verse. The second explanation of the Atmaram verse. And Mahaprabhu has finished, or is finishing, telling Sanatana Goswami about the story of Mrigari, the evil hunter, sadistic hunter, who would earn his living from hunting, but he would also earn a vile, sadistic pleasure from hurting the animals and watching them die very slowly. He would get a cruel, warped sense of pleasure from that. So very fallen person, to say the least, liberated. And the point here Mahaprabhu is making is that is the power of association, power of Vaishnava association, to transform even someone from Mrigari's level of depravity into a gentle, non-violent saint, which becomes apparent when Narada Muni visits with his friend, and Narada will not even kneel on an ant. So, we've been through these bits. So after telling the story, Mahaprabhu says, right, so
That's the story about the hunter.
Mrigari the hunter. Mrigari. Mriga means a deer. So Mrigari means a person who hunts deer. So text 282. Eta kahilun tomaya vyadera akyana ya sunile haya sadhu sangha prabhava jnana. Mahaprabhu says, so far I have narrated the incident of the hunter. By hearing this narration, one can understand the influence derived from associating with devotees. E aratina arta gananate paila, e dui arta mili chabisa arta haila. In this way, we have found three more meanings. So he's returning now to this elaboration of the Atmaram verse. In this way, we have found three more meanings, combine these with the other meanings, and the total number of meanings add up to 26 in all. Ara arta shunayaha artera bandara stuledui arta shukshme batresha prakara. There is yet another meaning which is full of variety of imports. Actually, there are 2 gross meanings and 32 subtle meanings. We've actually been over this bit, but we'll go over it again anyway. Atma Shabdika he sarva vidha Bhagavan, eka swayam Bhagavan, ara Bhagavan akyan. The word Atma refers to all the different expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One of them is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna. And the others are different incarnations or expansions of Krishna. Tante Ramaye se Sabha Atmaram, Vidhi Bhakta Raga Bhakta Dui Vidhanam. One who always engages in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Atmaram. There are two types of Atmaram. One is Atmaram engaged in regulative devotional service. The other is Atmaram engaged in spontaneous devotional service. Dui Vidha Bhakta Haya Chari Chari Prakara Parishara Sadhana Siddha Sadaka Gana Ara. The Atmarams engaged in regulative and spontaneous devotional service are further categorized into four groups. There are eternal associates, the associates who have become perfect by devotional service, and those who are engaged in devotional service are called sadhaka. And are called sadhaka. So the last category, sadhaka. Jata ajata rati bede sadhaka dui beda, vidhi raga marge chari chari asta beda. Those who are practicing devotional service are either mature or immature. Therefore, the sadhaks are of two types. Since the devotees execute either regulative devotional service or spontaneous devotional service, and there are four groups within these two divisions, altogether there are 8 varieties. Vidhi bhakti nitya siddha parishada dasa sakka guru kanta gana chari vidha prakasha. By executing regulative devotional service, one is elevated to the platform of an eternally perfect associate, such as a servant, friend, superior, or beloved woman. These are the 4 varieties. Sadhana siddha dasa sakka guru kantagan jatirati sadhaka bhakta chari vidhajan. Among those who have perfected themselves by devotional service, there are servants, friends, superiors, and beloved damsels. Similarly, there are 4 types of mature devotees. Ajata rati sadhaka bhakta e chari prakara vidhi marge bhakti sodasha beda prachara. Within the category of regulative devotional service, there are also immature devotees. These are also 4 varieties. Thus, in regulative devotional service, there are altogether 16 varieties. Raga marge aiche bhakti sodasha vibeda dui marge atmara mere batrisa vibeda. On the path of spontaneous devotional service, there are also 16 categories of devotees. Thus, there are 32 types of Atmarams enjoying the Supreme Lord on these 2 paths. Muni nir granta cha api chari sabdera artha yahanye lagi taha kariye samartha. When these 32 types of devotees are qualified with the words Muni nir granta cha api, they can be increased in different ways and very soundly elaborated upon. Patriche sab chabise mili asta panchasa ada eka beda shuna artera prakasha. When we add the 26 types of devotees to these 32, they altogether number 58. You may now hear from me of manifestations with different meanings. Itare tara cha diya samasa kariye atana bara atma rama namalaye. In this way, as I add the word cha to one word after another, I make a compound. Thus the different names of Atmarams can be taken 58 times. Atmaramascha atanabara sheshe saba lopa kareraki ekabara. In this way, one can repeat the word Atmaramaha with cha for each of the 58 meanings. By following the rule previously stated and rejecting all but the last, we can retain that which represents all the meanings. Sarupanam eka shesha eka vibhakto uktartanam aprayoga iti. Of the words having the same form and case termination, the last one is the only one retained. Atana chakarera saba lopahaya eka atmarama shabde atana artakaya. When all the chakara or additions to the word cha are taken away, 58 different meanings can still be understood by the one word, Atmaram. Ashvata vrikshash, chabata vrikshash, chakapita vrikshash, chaamra vrikshash, chabrikshaha. By the plural word brikshaha, trees, all trees such as banyan trees, fig trees, kapita trees, and mango trees are indicated. Asmin vane briksha phalanti aiche haya. Taiche Saba Atmarama Krishna Bhakti Karaya. This Atmaram verse is like the sentence, in this forest many different trees bear fruit. All Atmarams render devotional service to Lord Krishna. Atmaramas cha samuchaye kahiye chakara Munayas cha bhakti kare e artatara. After 58 times uttering the word Atmaramaha and taking cha in a sense of aggregation, one may add the word Munaya. That will mean that they also render devotional service to Lord Krishna. In this way, there are 59 meanings. Nirgranta e vahana api nirdharane e unashashti prakara artha karilun vyakyane. When taking the word nirgranta and considering api in the sense of sustenance, I have tried to explain 59 meanings of the word. Sarva samuchaye ara eka artahaya Atmaramas Jamunayas Chanigrantas Chabajaya. Taking all the words together, there is another meaning. Whether one is an Atmaram, a great sage, or Nirgranta, everyone must engage in the devotional service of the Lord.
Can you remind me what Nirgranta was?
Nirgranta, another type of devotee. It did mention it, I think. Nigranta. I don't know, I can't see it.
It must be the Bengali translation of the when you mention it.
Yeah, okay. Nirgrantasya Paramas, great sages. And Nirgrantas. I see. Yeah, Nirgranta. That's what I thought from the meaning of the words itself. Like granta means a text, a book. Granta, Nirgranta. Nirgranta negates that. Nir is a negation. Nirgranta, which would mean like no knowledge. So it means a fool. Nirgranta. So, the translation, taking all the words together, there is another meaning, whether one is an Atmaram, a great sage, or Nirgranta, everyone must engage in the service of the Lord. Api Shabda Avadharane Seha Charibara Chari Shabda Sange Evera Kariba Uchara. The word api is then used in the sense of ascertainment, and then 4 times with 4 words, the word eva can be uttered. Urukrame eva bhaktim eva hoitakim eva kurvanti eva. The words urukram, bhakti, hoitaki, and kurvanti are added to the word eva again and again. Thus, another meaning is explained. Just for context here, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explaining to Sanatana Goswami an elaborate explanation of a famous verse called the Atmaram verse, which the Atmaram verse describes how people that are even situated in transcendence, like beyond the material world, are attracted by the pastimes of Krishna, by the divine pastimes of Krishna. And it's a famous verse as it's quoted multiple times in this portion, this section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, called the Madhya Lila. It's featured at the beginning, and then twice here, this chapter, and then the next chapter. It's also repeated, this explanations of the Atmaram verse. First it's given to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and then to Sanatana Goswami, and then to the Mayavad sannyasis of Varanasi, who become devotees, which is in the next chapter. So this is where it's elaborately explained, and so Mahaprabhu is using a lot of grammatical and logical techniques to unpack the verse, comprehensively elaborate on the verse. Now I have given 60 different meanings to the verse, yet there is another meaning which is also very strongly evident. Atma Shabde Kahe Kshetragya Jiva Lakshana Brahmadikita Paryanta Tanra Shakti Te Ganana. The word Atma also refers to the living entity who knows about this body. That is another symptom. From Lord Brahma down to the insignificant ant, everyone is counted as the marginal potency of the Lord. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetragyakya Tata Para Avidya Karma Samgyanya Tritiya Shaktir Ishyate. The potency of Lord Vishnu is summarized in 3 categories, namely the spiritual potency, the living entities, and ignorance. The spiritual potency is full of knowledge. The living entities, although belonging to the spiritual potency, are subject to bewilderment. And the third energy, which is full of ignorance, is always visible in fruitive activities. Kshetragya Atma Purusha Pradhanam Prakriti Striyam. The word Kshetragya refers to the living entity, the enjoyer, the chief, and material nature. Brahmite yadi sadhu sangapaya sabatyajite potino krishnere bhajaya. The living entities are wandering in different species of life on different planets, but if by chance they get the association of a pure devotee, they give up all other engagements and engage in the service of Krishna. And the other famous verse in this context is quoted in a different part. There is a different part of Sanatana Shiksha. This is a wider portion of Chaitanya Charitamrita called Sanatana Shiksha. This chapter is part of a wider portion. And earlier there, Mahaprabhu explains to Sanatana Goswami about the importance of, or maybe it's actually in Rupa Shiksha, which is again preceding just before Sanatana Shiksha. He explains about the importance of Vaishnava association, Sadhu Sangha. And there's a similar verse. This one is Brahmite Brahmite Yadi Sadhu Sangha Paya Sabatyajis Tabe Tino Krishna Re Bajaya. The other one is Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagavana Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadhe Bhai Bhakti Lata Bij. Wandering throughout the Brahmanda meaning the creation of Brahma, which is the entire material cosmos, through good fortune, a jiva soul, while wandering as a result, being impelled by their karma up, sometimes down, sometimes back up, around and around, they may come in contact with the devotees of Krishna, receive Guru Krishna Prasad, receive some mercy, and that will cause the germination of the Bhakti Lata Bij, the creeper of devotion in the heart. That process of bhakti can begin through the encounter with those who already possess an amount of bhakti. The living entities wandering in different species of life on different planets, they are. But if by chance they get the association of a pure devotee, they give up other engagements and engage in the service of Lord Krishna. Sati artha kahilun sabha krishnera bhajane, se artha haya e sabha udaharane. I have thus explained 60 different meanings, and all of them aim at the service of Lord Krishna. After giving so many examples, that is the only meaning. Ekashashti artha ebe spurila tomasange, tomara bhakti vashe ute ateratarange. Now, due to your association, another meaning has awakened. It is due to your devotional service that these waves of meaning are arising. Aham vedmi sukho veti vyaso veti na veti va bhaktya bhagavatam grahyam na buddhya na chajtikaya. Lord Shiva said, I may know, Sukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, may know, and Vyasadeva may or may not know the Srimad Bhagavatam. On the whole, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Purana, can be learned only through devotional service, not by material intelligence, speculative methods, or imaginary commentaries. So this is a famous verse. This verse. Aham vedmi sukho veti vyaso veti naveti va bhaktya bhagavatam grahyam nabuddhya nachatikaya. And although it's not referred to right here, the verse has a history in Varanasi, which is the location of this pastime, in Varanasi, or right next to Varanasi, Prayag, where a couple of 100 years before, there is this one Sridhar Swami, not our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, but a Bhagavatam commentator from the 13th century called Sridhar Swami. And he wrote a famous commentary on the Bhagavad Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam. It was greatly appreciated. It was approved of and appreciated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But at that time, he was actually the head of what is known as the Govardhan Mutt, and that is Shankaracharya's mutt in Jagannath Puri. Shankaracharya established 4 mutts in different parts of India, one in the south, in South India, I forget exactly, and then one in Dwarka, one in the north, Badrik Ashram, around there, and one in the east at Jagannath Puri. The 4 cardinal mutts of Shankaracharya. And the one in the east, each they have their heads, like an abbot, the abbot of the head of the monastery. And at that time, in the 13th century, sometime in the 13th century, Sridhar Swami was the head of that mutt. So although he was the head, and Shankara's philosophy is Advaitavad, so he sees ultimately the Lord has no form. Nirvishesh, no form. Nirguna, no qualities. So this Shunyavad, doctrine of nothingness. So although he was the head of that mutt, he was also a devotee. It seems a little bit of a paradox, but that's how it was. And he also had a connection with the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, which is one of the Vaishnava Sampradayas. Anyway, he wrote a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the commentary was a bhakti commentary. So it wasn't a Mayavad commentary. It was glorifying the personality, the form, the naam, the roop, the gun, the lila, or the personal qualities of Bhagavan. And this couldn't really be understood by his Mayavad compatriots, followers of Shankara. So they, in their dilemma, they said, we will bring this book to the temple of Lord Shiva at Varanasi, and we will put it there, present it to him, and seek his advice, his opinion on whether the commentary is authentic or not. And so Lord Shiva's response was this. Lord Shiva said, I may know, Sukadev Goswami may know, the son of Vyasadeva may know or not know the Srimad Bhagavatam. And on the whole, the spotless Purana, the Bhagavatam, can only be learned through devotional service, not by speculative methods or any other material intelligence or anything. So he gave his stamp of approval to this commentary of the Srimad Bhagavatam, saying that you're in doubt because you don't have the proper methodology through which to approach, which can only be learned through devotional service. He's saying the knowledge, the inner secrets of the Bhagavatam are very rare. So I said I know, and Sukadev Goswami knows, but even Vyasadeva, who is the composer of the Bhagavatam, he said he may or may not know. Anyway, that's the history of that verse. So, Artashuni Sanatana Vishmitahana Stutikari Mahaprabhura Charane Dariya. After hearing all the explanations of all the different meanings of the Atmaram verse, Sanatana Goswami was struck with wonder. He fell down at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to offer prayers. Shakshat Ishwara Tumi Vrajendra Nandana Tomara Nishvase Sarava Veda Pravartana. Sanatana Goswami said, My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. All the Vedic literatures are vibrated through your breathing. Tumi Vakta Bhagavatera Tumi Jana Arta Toma Vina Anya Janite Nahika Samarta. My dear Lord, you are the original speaker of the Bhagavatam. You therefore know its real import. But for you, no one can understand the confidential meaning of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu kahe kene kara amarastavana Bhagavatera Swarupa Kene Nakara Vicharana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Why are you glorifying me personally? You should understand the transcendental position of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why don't you consider this important point? Krishna Tulya Bhagavat Vibhu Savarashraya Prati Sloke Prati Akshare Nana Artakaya." Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and shelter of everything. In each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam and in each and every syllable, there are various meanings. Alright, so we'll finish there. Read a little bit from Revealed Truth by Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj. One little subchapter, which today is entitled Spiritual Misfortune. Title of the subchapter. And the title of the chapter is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mood of Devotion. So, Sri Chaitanya, before, last time we read how Mahaprabhu is talking of the Lord's infinite names. And how all the different names of Krishna are invested with his Shakti, or potency. And that Mahaprabhu did not give any restriction regarding time and place, circumstance, but that the name should be remembered and chanted at all times. So this subchapter is entitled Spiritual Misfortune. Then Mahaprabhu prayed, Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam idrisham ihajani nanuragaha. Shikshastakam, verse 2. O Lord, you have bestowed your great mercy by appearing in this material world in the form of your holy names. But I am very unfortunate. I still do not feel eagerness to chant your holy name. So that's the second part of the second half of this second verse. Just previously, Gurudev was explaining Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. So Nam Namakari Bahuda, millions of names. Nija Sarva Shaktis. And all of these names contain your Shakti, transcendental potency. And then Atadrishi Tavakri Pa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrisham Ihajani Danuraga. So Mahaprabhu is saying, but even though you've made yourself readily available through your countless names, I don't feel any attraction to them. So Gurudev is elaborating on the second half, the second verse of what is known as Shiksha Astakam, the 8 verses composed directly by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu had full attachment and attraction to Krishna and his holy name. Mahaprabhu felt the full association of Krishna through his holy name. So why does Mahaprabhu express that he does not have any attraction to Krishna? Because he was so deeply connected with Krishna through his holy name that he felt ever-increasing hankering for Krishna. He felt he needed more and more attachment to Krishna's holy name. In divine ecstasy, Mahaprabhu felt unsatisfied with the Lord's revelation and his own position. He considered himself unfortunate because he did not have a deeper connection with Krishna's holy name. We can understand Mahaprabhu's mood in this way. We can understand that his expression in this verse is also a very important lesson for us. With this verse, Mahaprabhu also teaches the conditioned souls that the holy name is all-powerful, that the holy name has full ability to reveal himself in our hearts, and that we will immediately feel the result of our chanting if we chant the holy name purely Therefore, if we are not experiencing such revelation, if we are not feeling any joyful progress in our hearts and minds, if our faith is not becoming firm, if everything is not being fulfilled through our devotional mood, and if we are not getting the association of the Lord through His divine name, then we must consider that our durdaiva, our great misfortune. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that durdaiva means aparad, offensive mentality. He explained that Mahaprabhu's teaching for the conditioned souls in his second verse of the Shikshastakam is that the Lord's all-powerful holy name will not reveal Himself in our hearts if we have an offensive mood. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave this explanation of Mahaprabhu's expression with this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tadasma sharam hridayam batedam yad griha yamanir harinama deyai na vakri yetata yada vikaro netre jalam gatra ruheshu harshaha. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur put great emphasis on this verse. His explanation was, one who hears the glories of the Lord's holy name and chants the Lord's holy name, but has not developed love and affection for the holy name, is a great offender with a stone-like heart. There must be something offensive in their heart, otherwise they would automatically feel love for Krishna and chant the holy name purely. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained the phrase, Asma saram, ashma saram, stone-like heart, by saying that the heart becomes stone-like when someone has a strong materialistic mentality. I am my mundane body, and everything that belongs to me is mine. When someone has the materialistic mentality of I, me, and mine, their devotional practicing life, and chanting of the Lord's holy name, is mixed with offense. As there are different varieties of stone, some of which are harder than others, so the hearts of people are not equally hard. Some persons' hearts will melt sooner, and some persons' hearts will melt later. Though gradually everyone's heart will melt, and everyone will feel love for the Lord's holy name. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Gididhari Gopinath Madana Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhakta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunatha Jai Goshai Kari Charana Bandhan Jaha Hoite Vignana Sabista Puran Jai Goshai Anumuni Dhanradasa jabbe prachikolo basa Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Parema Jaya Mana Shri Guru Vaishnava Para Padma Gore Asha Hari Ram Sankirtan Kohe Narottam Dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Ji Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varg Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Samaveda Vaishnav Mandala Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai